All right, so the next topic is prime factorization. So, what is the meaning of prime factorization? Listen.
The meaning of pre-factorization is when a number cannot be broken into any further.
Yep. So, prime factorization. So, prime means basic. I mean, you cannot go further. For example, 16 equals to 8 times 2, and 8 is equals to 4 times 2, right? Let me go downwards. It's going to be more better. I can break down 8 as 4 times 2, and this 2 stays there, right?
Yeah.
And I break down 8, and then I break down 4, which is going to be 2 times 2, and these two 2's stays there, right? So all those numbers in three different equations, they multiply to 16.
Mm-hmm.
So the equations are basically same, but those are a different way of multiplying to the same numbers. And the last one is the prime factorization. The last one, this one is the prime factorization. Why is it prime? Because we cannot break those factors further. That means these factors, we cannot break them down further, right? So 2 is just 2. So that is the prime factorization. So basic factorization, we cannot go further, right? So the question was, write the prime factorization of 10. Use exponents when appropriate and order the factors from least to greatest, like 2 raised by 2, 3, 5. You see there is a ascending order, 2, 3, 5. We are ascending, we are writing in a least to greatest order. Now, in the previous example that we were doing, we can write 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 as 2 raised by 4, right? So that is the factorization. And in the same manner, in this question, we have 10. So let's do the factorization for 10. We can write 10 as 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is the prime factorization,
Yeah.
because we cannot break down 5 and 2. 5 and 2, both of them are prime numbers. Actually, we should have talked about the prime numbers before doing prime factorization, because in the previous
It's
video
okay.
we didn't talk about it. So what are the prime numbers? Listen.
The prime numbers are odd numbers.
Nope. They're not odd numbers. Prime number, like 2 is also a prime number, but it's not odd, right?
Okay.
Prime numbers are those numbers which we cannot break down
Oh.
except itself times by 1. So the 2 is a prime number because 2 is equals to 2 times 1.
Mm-hmm.
None of other factors multiplied to 2. So the only factorization that we have for 2 is 2 times 1. So those numbers are prime numbers which don't have non-trivial factors. Now 2 times by 1, 2 and 1 are factors of 2 and they are trivial. And for example, 16 has 8 times 2. 16 has all those factors, so 16 is not a prime number. 3 is a prime number as well, because 3, the only factorization that we have for 3 is itself times by 1. 5 is a prime number because the only factorization that we have for 5 is the number times by 1. And let's talk about the numbers which are not prime. Is 6 prime number?
No.
No. Why?
Because 6 can be broken
True.
other than.
Yep, like 2 times 3. So 6 has more than one factorization. The trivial one is 6 times by 1, but we have another one which is non-trivial, so we have more than one factorizations. So a number is a prime number who has factors 1 and itself. Only factors are like 1 and, for example, in these cases. The only factors that we have for those numbers are the numbers and 1, but 6 is not, because 6 has 2 times 3. So 6 has non-trivial factors, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it makes sense. Good?
Yes.
Now let me ask you one more question in the same context. How about 7? Is it a prime number?
No.
Prime number. Why do you say that's not?
Oh. Cause it's sorry.
Because it has, now you will say, because it has two factorization, but there is only one factorization, and that is 7 times by itself. So 7 is a prime number.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's the only factorization. 7, we cannot break it down any other two numbers. So no other two numbers times to 7 except the 7 itself with the 1, right? So 7 and 1 are the only factors for 7. So 7 is also a prime number. How about 9?
9. 3. 3 is 9.
3 times by 3 is 9. That's right. So they have factors 3 and 3. So is 9 prime number?
No.
Nope, because we have non-trivial. So 9 can be written as 9 times 1 and 3 times 3. So we have factors except beside 9 and 1, which is 3. So 9 is not prime number, 7 is a prime number. Now, is 11 a prime number?
Yes.
Why?
Because there is no other factors other than itself and 1.
Good, because we have only one option. 11 times by 1 makes 11 nothing else, so prime number, good. So prime number, 11 is a prime number. How about let me do 14.
14.
Yep.
No, it's not.
Right. The answer is right now. You explain me the reason behind your no.
Because 7 times 2 is 14. So there are more
Good. We have
factors either than 1 in itself.
good. So we have two factorizations. 7 times 2, which is non-trivial. Trivial is 14 number itself times by 1. So 14 is not a prime number. So the prime factorization that we were talking about is a factorization of a number which contains only prime numbers. So let me give you one more example. So prime factorization of, let's say, of 12. Let me write. What is prime factorization of 12? Now we know that 12, we can break it down in many ways. One of the easiest way is 2 times by 6, because 12 is an even number, and every even number is divisible by itself.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Pardon? Yeah, that's good. So 6 is also an even number. So 6 is also divisible by 2. So 6, we can write it 6 times 3. But we already discussed that We discussed that 2 is a prime number. This one, 3 is also a prime number. So we cannot break them further. So this is the prime factorization of 12 right there. Let me use this color. This is the prime factorization of 12. Prime factorization of 12 is that. Are you happy with that? You understand?
Yes.
Good. Now we understand how to make prime factors. We can answer, I think, almost all questions. So use exponents. Now we know that 5 times by 2 is 10, right?
Yes.
So we're going to write 2 and comma. Where's the comma? Mr. Comma, where are you? Okay, so probably there, yeah, there. 5. Sometimes it's hard to see simple things. Sorry, incorrect. Oh, I put a dot. No, what? Oh, they want us to write in a multiplication, the factorization. They want us to write 2 times by 5 rather than writing comma.
Why?
Why? Yeah, that's right. So 2 times 5 is 10. So they wanted us to write in that way.
What we said.
Now we know that 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. That means 2 powered by 3. So we already know that 8 equals to 2 times 2 times 2, prime factorization of 8. And now since we are multiplying a number with itself 3 many times, so we can write it as 2 powered by 3, 2 cube. So 8 is 2 cube, so the answer is going to be 2 cube. So we write 2 powered by, so there's a 2, and we use the symbol, which is that symbol? Yeah, let me use the another version of that. Probably it's going to be more easier. So I erase that. 2 raised by 3. And it didn't accept because we have to use, I think, mathematical way. 2 raised by 3. Wow, that's 2, 3. So actually, mathematical, there's another way of doing mathematical things. So we are not using, so we simply use this keyboard 2, and then power is gonna be the numbers. This is gonna be the sign actually, which goes up. And let me see. Oh yeah, they have the options. There we go. Raised by 3. I'm gonna learn this thing. You see, it made a power form, which is good. Prime factorization of 6. So we break down 6 in prime factors.
3.
Mm-hmm.
1.
We normally don't write 1 because 1 is the obvious number, right? 1 doesn't change. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 2 is 2. So we don't write 1. Rather, we just write 2 times by the numbers which are non-zero, non-1. So 2 and 3 are not 1, but the multiplication of them is 6, and 2 and 3, both of them are prime numbers. You agree, right? Because you cannot factors them further. So we cannot reduce them further, right? We cannot break them down. So 2 times 3, the answer is going to be 2 times by 3. So I go to the numbers, 2 times by 3, and we submit it. Sorry, what?
What?
This time, let's see how they want. Oh, they want us to write this middle point. We put in the feet. So two, their symbol is slightly different than ours. Now 15. What is the prime factorization of 15?
3. Uh, 5.
3 times by 5. Yes, that's right. Is it prime factorization? This factorization, is it prime? So you have to look at the numbers and make sure that they are prime numbers.
2.
No, I think
Oh,
that's done.
3 is the.
3 is a prime number. 5 is
Oh, 3. Yeah, then 3 is the prime.
5 is also prime numbers. So 3 and 5 are prime numbers. So yes, that is a prime factorization of 15. So 3 times by 5. So we go back to and write 3.
443, by the way.
Uh, 3 times by 5. Wonderful. So they accept that, the thing. All right. So we were talking about number 18, factors prime factorization of 18. So as you were talking about 18, so tell me.
3 and 6.
So, and but that is not a prime factorization because 6 is not a prime number. So as 6 is not a prime number, so the factorization is not prime. But we can make it prime by breaking down, by splitting 6 into further numbers. Now 3 is a prime number. You're going to break down 6 into the prime numbers.
Okay. So 3 times 3 is 6.
No, 3 times 3 is 9.
3 times 2 is
3 times 2 is 6, kids. So that is a prime factorization. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
So we got a prime factorization and we write it in a ascending order. Small, bigger, bigger, bigger. So we can also write it 2 times by 3 squared. 3 squared means 3 times by itself. So 3 times 3, right?
Your
2 means...
tablet looks like a TV.
Yeah, that's true. It's huge. So we got a prime factorization. So this is going to be answer. So your answer is 2 power 2 times by 3 powered by powered by 2, right?
Can I try your pen out after this lecture?
Sure. Why not? Awesome. So that was accepted by the machine. Now, write the prime factorization of 9.
9. 3.
3 times by what? 3 times by 3. Good. So the prime factorization of 9 is 3 times 3. That's right. So we write 9. 9 is 3 times by 3. So 3 powered by 2. Submit it. Good job. Now 16. Prime factorization of 16. 4 times 4, yeah.
4. Yeah.
And we keep breaking it down until we get a prime numbers. 4 is not a prime number.
Oh.
But we can break
2.
it down. Yeah, 2 times by 2. And 4. This 4 also breaks down to 2 times 2. So how many 2's are there? How many 2's? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So you can write 2 powered by 4.
Yeah.
So the power, we also call it exponent, and it means you times this base these many times. You multiply 4 many times. You multiply 2 4 many times. Power. So your answer is gonna be 2 raised by 4. So you write 2 powered by.
I can't get over how huge your tablet is.
I know, because you have your tablet is small and you have been using it for, I think, many years, so that's why. But it's good. I mean,
it would be perfect to watch Netflix on.
that's right. But I don't watch. It's kind of not productive. I mean, I don't waste time on that kind. I was used to spend a lot of time on watching those TV shows, but they're really addictive. What we have in the window? Oh, there's a new. Wow, this bird is still here. It's January 13th or 14th. The bird. What he's doing? Unbelievable, right? Probably his family left him here, right? We should help him. It's -10 and he's like looking for food or what? That's amazing. Let me pause the video and we're gonna talk about it. We were talking about that bird now.
Bird.
Yeah, let's talk about this problem now. 45, it's not that hard to break it down. 45, we write 4, 5. Now you're gonna help me to break it down. We have to make prime factorization of 45.
I believe that's 9
times by, you're right.
5.
Wow, I thought you were severing on me. 9 times. That's good. 9 times by 5 is 45. Pardon?
You thought I was what?
I thought you were like naming me something. I mean,
No.
I thought you said F word. I mean,
No.
you said 5, right?
No.
You also have
I would
accent.
never say that.
You also have accent, Alysa.
No, I don't. How do I have an accent?
I'm kidding. So 9, we can break it down further. What is the factorization of 9?
3.
3 times by 3. So you have to say 3 times by 3. And is it prime factorization?
Yeah.
Yes, because all the numbers are prime. So we answer 3 powered by 2 times by 5.
My mom has to see this bird.
Probably should pet him. I mean, make it your pet.
How?
Like just to call him in and probably he's like invite him like on a probably dinner or something like that. I'm kidding. 3 powered by 2. So we go to the numbers. 3 raised by 2 and times the whole thing by how to bring it down, probably by
Sorry, but my mom has to see this bird. Hey Mom, there's a bird on my window. There's a bird on the window. Come and look.
What color is it?
Red.
It's a red, maroon. It's a maroon. Probably he's cold. He's feeling cold out there.
Where?
Outside the window. It's beautiful bird like looking at us
Where?
right there.
Oh, that's a cardinal. Isn't
How
it
he
beautiful?
survived in this negative
Yeah.
20s
No,
bean. I mean,
those birds, they're all year round. But
wow,
yeah,
unbelievable.
isn't it beautiful?
I don't think that's the like. It's a cold blood like probably breed or something which.
They're around in
They
the summer
change.
too.
Wow.
And that's the male, and then the females. Oh, there's the female right there.
Oh, they.
Come here.
Where?
Yeah, there's a female.
Where?
The females.
Where?
Let me pause.
Where's the